Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I talk about journaling, art journaling, using up your stash, and doing it as cheaply and inexpensively as possible. I'm filming this at the beginning of June of 2019, and I thought it would be a perfect time, since I'm almost halfway through the year, to review my bullet journal and how I have changed how I'm using a BuJo. If I remember, I'll post a link down below for how I set this particular BuJo up in 2018, and I've gone through various iterations of it. Now, the two journals I tend to use every single day are this BuJo and Logbook, as well as my Morning Pages book. This one is volume 3 of 2019. It's essentially a simple composition book in ruled format, and I do somewhere between 2 to 3 pages in that one every single day. So that's the standard thing I go through. On the bullet journal side, I'm using a book that I picked up at Michael's, and it's the Artist Loft 6 by 8 inches. It's got 249 pages, and it's a dot grid format. I found this for $5. I figured I'd try it and see if it would work for me, and it actually has worked fairly well. Now, if you look at the setup video I will link down below, I started at the beginning of 2018 with this kind of a format. I found this online and I thought, oh, this is really great. And then I'm like, it doesn't really work for me too well. I tried the vertical format, didn't like that as much. I tried other formats. I've gone back and forth in formats, and I finally settled on one that I really like. And so let me just recap for those of you who are new to this channel. I do all my planning electronically. I don't do any of that on paper. So what I use my bullet journal for is very different than how you would use it if you were actually doing real planning. Okay, and there's millions of YouTube channels and videos and websites that will talk about how a regular bullet journal works. I've kind of modified it to suit my purposes. So as I was going through and trying out various formats, I ended up settling on this particular one that I've been using since about August of last year, and it works great. So it might look so familiar to some of you because it essentially looks like the Hobonichi Weeks or the Traveler's Factory Weeks calendar. Okay, so it's essentially the same setup. Now, the Hobo Weeks for me, while I love it, I love how that looks, it's just too pricey. For something that simple, it doesn't make sense to me. I might end up trying the Traveler's Factory weeks inserts and see if I like that. But what I'm going to do is first make my own in one of these regular traveler's notebook sizes and see, is that enough space? Because essentially it might be a little longer, but as you can see, it's definitely shorter. But essentially what this is on the left-hand side of the 2-page spread, you've got blocks of lines for each day of the week. So in my particular case, I run Sunday through Saturday. Everything that I find on the Traveler's Factory site, as well as the Hobo, goes Monday through Sunday. So I think you could split the world into 2 groups of people that the week starts Sunday versus the ones who start Monday. You know, and maybe you have a different one, but mine runs Sunday through Saturday. So what the format looks like is there are these blocks of lines for each day of the week, and then on the right hand side you've basically got a blank piece of paper with just a basic grid, dot grid, right? So I split the right side into this, and it's something that works really well for me. I write down 3 to 5 goals that I'm specifically looking to get done that week. There's a to-do list section, there's a tracker section. If you compare this to how I started this BuJo in 2018, you'll notice the tracker section has gotten much smaller, and that's because a lot of what I used to track is now just something I do every day, and I no longer need to track. Making progress. There's a note section where I keep track of things that I find that someone recommends, a book or a movie or something that I'm interested in following up on. And then in the media section, I track the books, podcasts, movies, TV shows, anything that I'm watching. So it's all encapsulated within this one spread for the week. Okay. Now, on the left-hand side, what I've done is I've actually put a line down the middle. On this side, I jot down things or events I want to remember so that I can very quickly flip through and find something. Okay. So it's things that I could do that also going electronically, but sometimes there's something specifically I want to highlight in here that would not necessarily make my calendar. Okay. So I keep track of those kinds of events or things there. On this side is where the logbook part of the section comes in. So in this column, for each day, what I'm recording between 3 to 5 lines is something about the day. So it could be something that happened that day. It could be a summary of the day. It could be my favorite part of the day. It could be good news, bad news, whatever. It's just 3 to 5 lines that summarizes this particular day for me. And I've been doing that, like I said, since I think August of last year. And yes, I do keep a long form notes on every particular day in my morning pages, but this is not to hash out a brain dump, right? I'm specifically looking back at the day because I usually fill this log out the day after. So, for example, on Monday morning is when I write down kind of a quick recap of whatever it is I want to make a note of for Sunday. And you only have these many lines, which makes you really focus. So this is how I am currently working. It's been working really well for me for the past several months. I do not foresee this format changing. Although, you never know. But this has been the one that has really been effective for the last several months. Like I said, I don't keep a regular standard way of BuJo. So instead of having to have, because some people go through a BuJo every couple of months, mine go through years, right? So I've got 2 years worth, well, a year and a half's worth in this one particular book, plus a logbook. And when I switch, if I switch to this particular size, because I'm kind of liking the convenience, I'm taking this traveler's notebook around with me anyway. It'd be nice to be able to remove one book from something that I carry when I leave the house, right? So I'm thinking about that. So that's currently where I'm at in terms of just an update on how my bullet journal and logbook is working for me really well. And it's got all of 2018 and, the first 5 months of 2019 so far. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And if you are using a bullet journal or are doing it in a totally different way and have found a way that works for you, I'd be so interested to see how you use it, how effective it is for you. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.